How do you stay focused and keep your home so clean and tidy? Tracy, tell the truth. Pinocchio.
I'm not
Tell the truth.
Pinocchio. I've always said that I have messes hiding.
Welcome to New England and our 1836 home. I'm Linda, and we have been lovingly restoring our home, which was once a two-family, back into a single-family home. I've been busy decorating it and remodeling it, but now that it's almost done, we're already searching for our next home, our forever home. But until we find it, won't you join me as I decorate and share some of my DIY tips? Some time in the garden. We're going to be doing some entertaining and crafting together, and we're even going to bake and cook together. That's not all. I also take all my kindred spirits along shopping with me, and we go look at old towns in New England, and we're also going to take you along to look for our next home, our forever home. But until then, won't you join me for a dose of New England fine living, no matter how simple or grand that may be?
Hello, kindred spirits. Today I thought I would interview me with questions that you sent me through Instagram, and then we pulled a couple from the past few videos, and we thought we would answer some questions for you, right? So let's get started, and I'm going to skip around here, but I'm sure Linda, will be able to handle these impromptu, and if not, we'll go from there. So the first question is from Maz Eclectic. Or she's stating, I always enjoy watching your videos, Linda, no matter what the subject is about. You always make it interesting. Oh, thank you. Oh, she thanks you. I also like the fact that they're never too long, although sometimes I wish they were a bit longer. How's the house hunting going? Oh my, I also enjoy when you take us out with you and love the salt box houses. So, Linda, do you have any input on that? Do you want to let them know about the house hunting?
Sure.
House hunting is still going along.
I totally agree.
There's nothing really out there that we're gravitating towards, so we're taking our time. Now we have Peg Tim 6163, and I apologize if some of these really come out wacky when I'm trying to read them out loud. I'm curious to know what you are looking for in a house that you don't have in your current one.
That's a good question.
So we already had a wish list before we were looking and we bought this house, but since we were pretty much homeless, we kind of jumped on this home because we were looking for a house, we liked it, but what it doesn't have that we're looking for is potentially a barn or some outbuildings, a little more land, a little more privacy. We wanted to be in a village when we were first hunting, so this was on the list. Now we want to be on the outskirts of a village just for a little more quiet and a little more peace. We're looking for potentially a first floor master bedroom or something that we can add as a master bedroom downstairs, and easy access to get in and out. We have elderly parents, and just even a few steps coming in the home has been difficult, and we want this house to be the next forever house, so we want to be able to get in and out of it easily as well. So that's some of the things that we're looking for. This is from Selena 429. Hello, Linda. Thank you so much for posting such beautiful, informative videos. It's always fun and inspirational to watch. Oh, we like that. Thank you. Since you appear to be an avid gardener, any tips, tricks for the first timer? I'm doing my very first raised garden beds, and I thought, what would Linda do? Maybe that's a whole other video. That's cute. So, you know, no, you answer. Go ahead. Thank you. I call myself an avid and new gardener as well. Learning as I go. I've been gardening my whole life, but each home I move to, there are different gardens, there's different flowers, different sun and locations, different soil, so I'm constantly learning. I think for me, learning as I go and doing it is a lot easier than reading or watching things, even though I do learn things that way as well. But I think just jump in 2 feet first, watch some great videos. There's some other wonderful videos out there that I like to watch. I'll try to remember to link some of those below. And just learn as you go. I'm becoming more knowledgeable each year, and I'm learning a lot more each year.
This is from Happy Friday. Love your video. They are entertaining and I've picked up lots of good information. Oh, I'm glad that's happened. Question, how do you decide on the color you painted your home?
Well, that's a very easy question to answer. It was already this color when we bought it. And it's funny, I've been up and down this street for years and I never noticed the house. And I think it's because of the green color. It just kind of blends in. I was looking for a white house. A white house is something that I really would love to have again. But to answer your question, it was painted this color before. It's wainscot green from California Paints. And the doors and shutters is spruce green. It's a very, very dark green that looks black.
Okay. So this one I cannot figure out. It's C. Ghoster Guard. Hey there, I would love to know where you go for the classical music that you use in some of your videos. It sounds very old world and goes beautifully with your setting. Can I answer that one? Just because, you know, why not? So I use Epidemic Sound sometimes, and then I also use the YouTube Studio free app that they have when I create the videos, right? Okay. Okay, Sweet Pea Hutch. I miss seeing your frequent Instagram posts, but I understand you're working on other venues. My question to you is, I'm having a house built and I don't want to be trendy but go classic. I want to avoid colors like brown and yellows. Any suggestion on interior colors for walls, countertops, cabinets, flooring, and drapes? Thanks. That's a tough one.
That is a tough one because everybody's so different. But I would first suggest getting a lot of your paint fan decks from the paint stores. A lot of them have historic color collections within them, and I would start with that. I would also go on Pinterest, online, magazines, and start collecting things that you like, and you'll start to see a pattern, whether it's counters. And if you follow your heart and your gut, don't follow the trends. It's a hard one. You know, since I've never met you and don't know your likes and dislikes, but there's just so many options out there. It just sounds like that you don't enjoy the trends, so follow your heart.
Yeah, we can touch on that a little bit more as well. So D. Belinsky, what are your top 5 places to thrift in New England, and what is your favorite find while thrifting?
That is a tough one because there's so many great places, but I always mention Savers. I like to go to that store. I find things. Church bazaars are fantastic for thrifting. A lot of the stores that are opening up now seem to be group ventures and booths with others, and the prices are marked up quite a bit because they're buying wholesale and marketing it up, where thrift stores and consignment stores are better pricing. You've got, of course, your Goodwills, yard sales. I mean, in the summer, yard sales start to happen. It's a good place. Estate sales. I haven't done that a lot myself, but I hear so many great places have them, so I would try that. I agree. Isn't it weird? I agree.
Carla 27 Ludwig. I kind of touched on this a little earlier, but Carla's asking for perennial recommendations for the New England climate, preferably blues and purples.
Yeah, I'm going to hit on that later in another video, but the first things that come to mind are maybe some blue delphiniums, irises. Some of my pansies are coming back every year, which is not always the case. Bluebells, trillium, lavender if you want the purples, of course. There's so many that I have growing in the garden right now, and the names always elude me. So what I think I'm going to do is put a video together with at least what I have here in my home and in some of my past homes, because I still have those videos or at least photos. And then I will put the plant name with it. So that one I will stick with the blues and purples, because I also like doing the pinks and the burgundies and all nice cool colors. But so I'll do that, okay, Carla? But that's coming your way. My stepdaughter wants her lunch, but we are going to keep filming here. All right. Sorry about that, Linda. So once again, Corey Love would like to know, what type and brand names are your shades throughout your lovely home? Ones that we put in are by Hunter Douglas, and they're called bottom-up, top-down shades, or at least that's what I call them, because you could literally pull them from the top all the way down, or push them all the way up, or you can have them eat in the middle. Yep. Birdie Blue Bakes. What inspires you when decorating? Your videos really inspire me, so thank you. We welcome you. We welcome you. Well, you're welcome. Linda? Thank you. We welcome. Yes, thank you. Yes. So what inspires me? Good question. I think a lot of it is the house itself. Whatever home I'm in, the style, the architecture, the lighting that comes in, that makes a huge difference for me when I'm decorating. Each house I've been in has been very different. A different age, a different style. I do them all, but I think a lot of it's been going into museums, other old homes, if I'm doing an old house for design, pictures that I've seen, friends' homes, TV shows, travel, vacation, everywhere. And sometimes I just follow my gut and I try something, and if I don't like it, I'm okay with changing it again. As some of you know, I painted the living room from white to the dark iron gate, back to the white. I'm looking at iron gate photos right now again, and I'm like, I probably could have or should have kept that all one color, but I'm not going to change it right now. But so short story long, you know, I get my inspiration from everywhere, and I just follow my gut. Okay. Tracy Q32. I have a question from a kindred spirit living in a 300-year-old New England home. How do you stay focused and keep your home so clean and tidy? Tracy, tell the truth. Pinocchio, tell the truth. I'm not Pinocchio. I've always said that I have messes hiding, or I don't. I'm always going from one project to the other, or the house is never always tidy. You know, a lot of it is created for when I'm making a video. My kitchen will be cleaned up, but that means sometimes that our coats that were on the kitchen stools were then put on the dining room table, or you don't see that I have to sweep the floor on many of them, or that there's still laundry downstairs to do. I'm surrounded by my fun chaos. There's always painting brushes out. There's always paint cans out. But I'm getting there. The more I'm starting to get the house ready for sale, I'm letting a lot of things go. So even my personal piles are being depleted and going down, and I'm really enjoying the more minimal look, but I'm not minimal whatsoever. But I'm starting to delete a lot of things, and then I'll add them back, and I'm trying to get better with keeping up with our coats being put away and things like that. 100 Yellow Flowers says, hello Linda, I have 3 questions. First question, how long have you and Ben been married? Well, we are coming up on our 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. These are my fingers. We're coming up on our 5th wedding anniversary. And once again, sorry, I'll let you talk. That's what an interview is. You go ahead. Thank you. So Ben and I are coming up on our 5th wedding anniversary this June, but we've known each other since we were 12. So, but we're both in our 2nd marriage, and we have been dating, and this is our 2nd house together. I should mention that too. So we had a house in another bordering town. So I've known Ben for a very long time, but we reconnected, and thank goodness he likes old homes. He's also a 12th generation New Englander, so we get along with a lot of the traveling about and looking at graveyards and things like that. So we've also found out that we're 8th cousins distantly. So I think that's probably why we are kind of soulmates. It's pretty amazing that we reconnected from junior high, because I didn't like him in high school or junior high at all. Sorry, Ben. Here. Second question, creating raised beds. Would you use wood? Would you use wood, one stone? I think that might mean wood or stone. Both. I have done wood raised beds. I have done stone raised beds. If you do wood and it is for vegetables, make sure you don't get pressure treated or anything that has chemicals on it. If it's pure, you're probably going to have to replace it down the road due to rot, but it's so much better than having chemicals. But the stone is just as pretty. I do both, depending on if you're making them yourself, if you have stone readily available. But yeah, good question though. So what flowers would be good to plant? That is a good question. It's a good one. So I think it all depends on, once again, what you want. So if you do want flowers, I would do things that, if you want, they actually multiply, so that you can divide them each year and either move them around in your garden beds or give them away as gifts. I would not do anything like mints that are going to take over garden beds. They actually spread. Those are better in containers. I love planting herbs. So if it wasn't just flowers, I like using my garden beds for herbs as well. I'm trying to get mine right now by colors, and I'm having fun with it. And also, if you're doing vegetables, change it up, because vegetables don't like to be planted in the exact same spot every year. I'm learning that myself now. I've done tomatoes in the same bed, and they just don't like it. You got to move things around sometimes. This next question comes from hello52018. Linda, I'm so glad that I found your channel, blog, etc. We are glad too. It's all wonderful. Thank you. Questions. Some tips for inexpensive gardening, finding faux florals, and saving money. How you learned to do videos, DIY woodworking, painting the home projects. You've shared your gardening tips. How do you get it all done? So happy to have your videos, and I always look for them. Thank you, an admirer and a friend you just haven't met yet. Well, hopefully we'll meet someday, and that's a lot of questions all together, which are great. So let's go over the first one, some tips for inexpensive gardening. Inexpensive gardening, I think maybe pulling together some friends, and if you're buying the 6-packs, you can share those, split those. If you're just getting started and you want, maybe ask some friends if they have some saplings that they can share, or some things they could split and share with you. Finding faux florals and saving money. I still have a lot from when I was a retailer, so I got mine at wholesale, but I have found some great florals at consignment stores and thrift stores that are actually tucked in some pretty horrible looking arrangements that really got beat up over the years. So I always look at those. Even if it's 1 or 2 beautiful blooms in something that is past its prime, I will get those, and then I'll put them away and save them for later. How you learned the DIY woodworking, painting, and home repairs that you've shared? That's a really good question. I'm asked that a lot. So my parents were do-it-yourselfers on their home when it came to remodeling, construction, plumbing, wiring, wallpapering, painting. I don't think I've ever seen a contractor at my parents' home, other than when my mother had some custom cabinetry made for over a fireplace after my father passed away. So I learned by watching, I learned by being next to my father and my mother when they were doing their projects. They let me help, and I think a lot of it was just through osmosis. And then over the course of my adult life, I bought my first house when I was 21 and kept buying and working on houses because we couldn't afford houses that didn't need work. So it was hands-on for, I forget how many houses that I actually worked on myself, maybe 5. So it's all by by learning and doing and trial and error, a lot of trial and error. And I'm still learning. And some of the things that I've learned in the past, like using power tools, I'm not as comfortable doing it anymore, but that's okay. Now that's when I kind of turn it over to somebody else if it's a little bit out of my element anymore.
And how do you get it all done?
How do I get it all done? I really don't. Some of the projects are still undone because I have a trouble focusing on just one task at one time. So like this room that we're sitting in, I started first, we took down shelving when we first moved in. It was all along the top. And then I painted and primed it. I had to fix holes. That was probably over a few months because I was doing other things in the house. Then I put up the board and batten here, and that took a while. And then I painted it, and then I found the wallpaper. So each time I was doing something, I was also working on something else. So there's always a project undone. I'm starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel with these home projects. I think you can agree. And it's a good feeling, but I don't get it all done. I'm constantly going. I think that's part of it. Go, 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 if that answers your question.
Okay, the next question comes from D. Belinsky. What are the best places to get quality wallpaper at discount prices?
Wow, that is a tough one because years ago, I used to go to stores that would have the wallpaper rolls right on the wall and you could take it from bins, and those were usually priced very well. Now, if I'm looking for a well-priced wallpaper, I usually go through York or Brewster or Seabrook, and I pretty much have to go online now to look. And sometimes you can even find rolls of wallpaper at consignment stores if somebody has a leftover roll and they just donate it because maybe they over-purchased. And if you have a small space to fill, to use it in, that would work. But I would say probably the York, Brewster, and Seabrook are the three that first come to mind.
Okay, thank you. Let's see. S.H. Roman S. 828. Look forward to all your videos. Thank you for sharing and being inspirational. Do you plan on hanging curtains throughout the rest of the home, your lovely home? And if so, what style are you partial to?
So we just had Ben jump out the outside window seeing what we were doing in here. But I already forgot the question. He distracted me. Oh, drapes and window treatments. I am not going to be doing window treatments in every room in this house. In the past, I've had draperies, I've done cornices, I've had swags, jabots, Roman shades, you name it. My interior design studio, we used to make custom window treatments. I didn't, but my workroom did. And I always had beautiful things made for my home as well. But here, I have the panels in the living room that you may have seen. And I'm not going to do a lot in this house. These rooms are small, and I'll be adding, if anything, some more drapery panels, possibly some swags and jabots, but that's yet to be seen. I think I'm kind of waiting for the move because window treatments, as you may know, are very costly if you have them made, and I do like custom, especially when you have odd-sized windows in your house.
Okay, so here's from Sherry Davis, no relation that I know of. Sherry Davis, 135. Linda, silly question. No questions are ever silly. But on your recent video, you showed the basket hanging from a shingle. Do you use a nail? I'd like to hang a similar basket without damaging my siding. Sherry.
So I do use a nail. I actually have a screw where the basket is. Reason being is, or not the reason, but that siding is brand new. So I didn't feel like I was damaging or harming my 300-year-old home or 200-year-old home. But I have something hanging there all the time. And my rule of thumb is if you're going to enjoy your home, live in your home. It's not a museum. You may completely disagree with that. I totally get it, and a lot of people would agree with you. You might want to try maybe a 3M hook that that you could put on the paint. I do think those, if they're left up a long time though, adhere to the paint, so don't think I trust those. Honestly, if you want to hang something that you like and it's going to be there year round, or swapping things out, I would just go for it. It's really easy to put a little filler and paint it over if you need to. I just go for it. Oh, and let me add, if you do that, drill first, because you don't want to hammer right into your wood and split it or crack it, which could potentially happen. Definitely drill first and then put your nail in.
Okay, the next question is from Chris Maracini, if I'm saying that correctly. Do you cut your lavender down to the ground in the spring?
No, I don't cut my lavender down all the way. Now, you should, if you cut it in after it's first blooming, if you cut it down, you don't go into the woody part of the lavender. That will definitely harm it, or could even kill it. Sometimes if you cut it down, you'll get a second showing of lavender, which did happen for me last year. I should have cut it down then, but I didn't get to it. So I'm going to take off a little bit of the top, but not that much. I'm going to see, how much will bloom, and then once I get my first showing, I'll cut it down. But once again, don't go into the woodiness of it.
Okay, the next one is from Catherine Stocking. Hi Linda, I really like the green paint you used in your renovated basement. Would you share the brand and name of that paint? It's the perfect green. And I'm going to answer this for Linda right now, for us. The green, it's off the top of my head. I'm not remembering it. Once again, it is on the blog, but when we edit this video, we'll put it up there in print for you, okay? That was great. Mary Schlatter, so pretty. Can you share where you got the half basket? I love the arrangement.
I got the half basket at a at-home craft sale one year, and it had a beautiful spring arrangement in it, but over the course of time I kept changing out the flowers, and so that's where I got it, at a craft show.
This next one is from J&G Mata. Hi Linda, love the paint colors of your home. May I ask what brand paint colors you used? Once again, I'll answer that on the blog, and it took me a while to add those, so I apologize, but they all are up there now. Let's see. The next question is from My Happy Nest. Closings, question mark. Did you sell your house? Good question.
That is a good question, and I think that's because I mentioned staying at the Wayside Inn between closings. Sorry to confuse you. No, that was from our previous home sale. Before moving into this house, our house sold, so we didn't have any place to live in between the two. So that was when I was kind of saying that when we buy our next house, our goal is to buy the house, get that all settled, and then we'd move from here there. It just was too hard for us to be homeless, and living in the inns were really fun, but now that we have our dog Willow, it wouldn't be as easy to do.
Do you ever have birds nesting in your arrangements? That's a good one.
Yes. That's a good one. I do, but for some reason this house, it hasn't happened. It's probably because we're in and out of the door so often, but we did have them nesting at another house where the nest was on a back door, not used as much, and we decided just to not use that door until the babies flew away.
So Miriam PG 1129. Linda, the drive was beautiful. What do you mean when you refer to your forever house as a unicorn? That's a good question. We answer that a lot.
That is a really good question. So we call it the unicorn house. I kind of came up with that coin phrase when we were looking, last time when we were looking for houses, and we found this one. I call it the unicorn house because it's something that you dream of, you see it in movies, you read about it in books, but but you really haven't seen it. And that's kind of what I feel like with the house that we're looking for. We know about it, we know it's out there somewhere, we just have not seen it yet. It's kind of magical. When it appears, it will be right. So that's what I mean by the unicorn. And the forever house part is we are looking for a house that we can retire in. We're looking for a house that we can grow old in. We're looking for a house that we could stay in and not go to a nursing home. Both of our parents are in assisted living right now, and they don't like it. They wish they were in their homes. And my husband's grandparents did stay in their homes, and they had health care there and even had the automatic stairs going up and down, the chair up and going down the stairs. So that's kind of our thought process right now, as we say, the forever home. We want to be there until as long as possible, unless we decide to go to a warmer climate.
And that kind of works off of the question that comes from Peg Tim 6163, saying, I'm curious to know what you are looking for in a new house that you don't have in the current one. So maybe we could compare what we are looking for to what this home doesn't have, and that will, be a little helpful.
Okay. Sure. So this house we ended up buying because we, at that point, were exhausted from hunting, and we wanted a house with a barn. This house does not have a barn. It used to, but it doesn't have a barn anymore. We wanted a little more privacy in our backyard and our side yards, but being in a village, we don't have as much privacy as we would like. We are looking for a bit more acreage. Ben would love to get his ride-on tractor, and I'd like to have some more gardens for vegetables. And we'd like some more first floor living area. Right now we could have a first floor master bedroom and bathroom here, but that would be more remodeling. We don't want to do that. So we're looking for a home that we could have first floor living if needed. We are looking for a house that has a larger dining room. We have 5 children between us. We've both got siblings and nieces and nephews and grandchildren, and we want a bigger living room. Bigger dining room, and also a bigger living room, because when we entertain here, it's a little tight inside. These are small rooms, so we're looking for something with at least 2 large rooms for entertaining. If that answers your question.
Did I read this one out loud already? I don't have a check mark here.
Look who you're asking.
If I didn't, she's asking how the house hunting is going.
But it does sound familiar, and I'm just going to answer it again, and then we can check. But house hunting is going fine. We're still looking. There's not a lot on the market right now.
All right, so that is the list of questions that we have for today. If you enjoyed watching this question answer, I was actually going to have my husband Ben ask the questions today, but he went off golfing this morning. It was 27 degrees, and he and his buddies decided to go and start their season off with a bang in the cold weather. So I decided to interview myself. So that's what we did. If you would like more question answer videos, let me know below. And if you haven't already subscribed, please do so. We'd really like you to, right? Right. Well, for now, thank you for visiting New England Fine Living, where we hope to help you find your personal vision of fine living, no matter how simple or grand that may be. Bye now.